Hey y'all, Beasley here. Welcome back to the channel. We will begin today's exploration of the collection with a press photo that I recently acquired of Rogers Hornsby and the 1952 Tulsa Oilers. Tulsa has benefited from many great managers and coaches through the years, notable among them Warren Spahn, Doc Smith, Pepper Martin, Marty Martinez, Satchel Paige. But 1952 had two larger-than-life personalities, really distinctly different personalities in managerial roles. Let's take a look at the picture.
Rogers Hornsby was a controversial character, to say the least. He began the 1952 season managing the St. Louis Browns. This was his first season managing with the Browns, and he was universally disliked by the players. Team ownership, tired of the constant conflict, and fired Hornsby on June 8th, barely 2 months into the season. Despite his reputation, he was hired to manage the Cincinnati Reds only 6 weeks later. The Reds were in 7th place, and ownership wanted a change. Before taking the reins in Cincinnati, Hornsby spent 5 games with the Reds' minor league team, the Tulsa Oilers. The back of the press photo identifies the players: John Temple, Hobie Landreth, Alex Grammas, and Earl York. Starting on the left, Hobie Landreth. From Detroit, the Reds signed Hobie Landreth out of Michigan State University. He caught in 118 games for Tulsa in 1952 and had a .300 batting average. Landreth went on to have a 14-year major league career from 1950 to 1963, playing in 772 games. Known as a chatterbox, catcher Landreth often annoyed batters by incessantly talking to them during their at-bats. Moving right, Alex Grammas. Born in Birmingham, Alabama, Alex Grammas served in the Army during World War II before playing shortstop for Mississippi State University, graduating in 1949. He appeared in 158 games for Tulsa in 1952. Alex had a 10-year major league career from 1954 to 63. Having high baseball IQ, Grammas went on to manage the Pirates and the Brewers. Next, Earl York. A 12-season minor league infielder, Earl York played for Tulsa in 1946, 1951, and 1952. He went on to play for the 1954 through 56 Oklahoma City Indians. York played in over 100 games each season between 1948 and 1956, had 1,393 total professional games played, but none in the major leagues. To the right of Rogers Hornsby, Johnny Temple. A sad rags to riches to rags story. John Temple's career was marred by struggles with mental health, violence, and alcoholism. A very talented second baseman and hitter, a 6-time All-Star and member of the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame, Johnny Temple could have been so much more if he could keep his temper and his drinking under control. Unfortunately, he liked to drink and he liked to fight, and he fought a lot. He fought players, both opponents and his own team members. He fought fans. He fought a scorekeeper in a dispute of a documented error. And after getting a beat down from Cincinnati Reds coach Reggie Otero, his career was over. Johnny was quoted as saying, "12 years ago, I walked into this park a top-notch professional player. I'm going out like a bum, beat up, nothing to do and nowhere to go." Attempts at life outside of baseball were utter failures. Temple filed bankruptcy and moved his family in with the in-laws, and at the age of 48 was hired on at a warehouse for $2.30 an hour. Probably the best-known player on the 1952 Tulsa Oilers team was Johnny Vandermeer. Pitching for the Cincinnati Reds from 1937 to 1949, with the exception of his time in the U.S. Navy during World War II, Johnny was a 4-time All-Star, three-time National League strikeout leader, 1940 World Series champion, and Vandermeer is the only Major League pitcher to throw back-to-back no-hitters. At the age of 37, he was sent to the Tulsa Oilers in 1952 on a rehab assignment. Vandermeer compiled an 11-10 record in 24 games with Tulsa, posted a respectable 2.31 earned run average, and threw a no-hitter for the Oilers on July 15, 1952. Another in this cast of colorful characters of the 1952 Tulsa Oilers, manager Joe Schultz. Manager of the Oilers from 1952 to 54, his Baseball Reference biography refers to him as the zany skipper. This picture of Joe Schultz from his Oilers days in the early 1950s reminds me of a quote of his from 1962. I finally gave up arguing with the umpires the last couple of years. I was getting myself real excited for nothing, and besides, I haven't won a decision yet. Joe's father was manager for the minor league Houston Buffaloes. In the final game of the 1932 season, Schultz Sr. sent in his 14-year-old son to pinch hit, and young Joe became the youngest player to get a hit in professional baseball. Being the son of a baseball manager and spending 14 years between major and minor league baseball, Schultz knew the game well and spent the next 30 years as coach and manager. Old Joe managed the iconic, comedic, beer-guzzling, and ill-fated 1969 Seattle Pilots in their only season. Manager cards are on the fringe of my collecting interest, but Schultz's story piqued my interest. That interest waned when I saw the prices of his card. I do love how he always signed these cards on his oversized forehead. His only other major league managerial experience was with the Detroit Tigers for the final 28 games of the 1973 season after the volatile Billy Martin was fired. A 2006 article in the Seattle Times quoted, "Everyone loved Joe. That's why he only managed 1 year." Contrasting the love that players had for Joe Schultz, the disdain that players had for Rogers Hornsby. An all-time great and Hall of Fame player, Hornsby's professional career began when he signed on with the 1914 Hugo, Oklahoma Scouts of the Class D Texas-Oklahoma League. Rogers went on to play 23 seasons of Major League Ball. He won the Triple Crown in 1922, leading the league in hits, runs, doubles, home runs, RBI, and had a .401 batting average. Hornsby hit .424 in 1924. In 1925, he won a second Triple Crown, 7-time National League batting champion, 1925 and 1929 National League Most Valuable Player, 1926 World Series champion with the St. Louis Cardinals. Rogers Hornsby was hired to manage 6 different major league teams and was fired by each.
Joe Schultz, Rogers Hornsby, and the 1952 Tulsa Oilers. So I appreciate the growing interest in the channel. I love doing the research and learning all of the history behind Tulsa baseball. There's still a lot more to share. So if you have enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you.